On today's video, we're taking a look at what the Cowboys' top needs are for the draft, free agency, and the offseason. Now, very important here, I factor in players only, no coaches or ownership, but also free agents. So if you have a notable free agent, that becomes a very important need, which is why at number 1, it's quarterback. Yes, guys, Dak Prescott's a free agent. Figuring out what you're going to do with him is by far your number 1 need this offseason. And in all honesty, it's going to be tough and tricky to make full-fledged moves, the big splashy ones we all want and kind of need, without having a plan at quarterback. Dak's a free agent. Oh, by the way, Dalton's a free agent, and technically Garrett Gilbert's an RFA, but he'll probably be back on the cheap. The number 1 thing the Cowboys must accomplish as soon as humanly possible in the offseason is Dak Prescott. And I think that's just paying him. He's going to be back healthy. He has proven he is very much at least a top 10 quarterback. But at minimum, the Cowboys have to figure out their plan. What they can't do is kick the can down the road again and again and go, oh, we'll do it next year. In reality, there are 2 options right now for this Cowboys team with where they will probably be drafting. Just either A, pay Dak and be done with it, or B, go draft somebody. Because the one thing you can't do is not pay Dak, not draft a quarterback early in round 1, and then tag Dak again, let him ball out, and then let him reach free agency. And then be stuck potentially with no quarterback, a lot of money, but okay, there aren't anywhere nearly the caliber of quarterbacks as opposed to Dak Prescott in free agency, and a pick in the low 20s. That's not good. So I think the answer is to bring back Dak Prescott. But we're a show for the people. So what do you guys want to do? If you want to bring back Dak Prescott, I want you guys to like this video. If you don't want to bring back Dak Prescott, that's okay too. You can dislike the video. Use your voting power right now. All right, number 2 need, that is cornerback. Wait, where have we heard all of these upcoming needs before? Oh yeah, last year. Cornerback. You have Trevon Diggs. I like him a lot. The issue is your other top guys are free agents. Chidobe Awuzie, free agent. Jourdan Lewis, free agent. CJ Goodwin, special teamer, free agent. Anthony Brown is under contract. So too is Maurice Kennedy. I feel good about 1.5 of those guys. If you don't retain Lewis and or Awuzie, and even if you do on a cheap 1-year deal, early in the draft, or I guess in free agency, you got to spend a premium pick or money. You have to get help there. I like Jourdan Lewis. I think he can be, I want to see him at safety. The Cowboys apparently aren't going to take that path, so whatever, I guess. If he's back cheap, awesome. You got depth. Awuzie, if he's back cheap, cool. Maybe you can utilize him as your CB3 or 4. But I think ideally, even if you keep Awuzie on a 1-year deal, go draft somebody, man. You need more options at cornerback. I like Diggs long term. They have to find more help. As they sit right now, factoring in free agents, they won't survive the season. Cornerback is a massive need for this team. Now, my hope is that 2021 is going to be different, and this is the year the Cowboys invest in a safety. They have maybe Donovan Wilson as a keeper, but Xavier Woods is a free agent, and I'm honestly down to move on. Darian Thompson is just a guy. He's a Jag. Steven Parker, Deontay Burton, maybe safety 4s. Reggie Robinson couldn't even play this year. You got to go get a safety, man. And I am praying top 80 or whatever your pick is in by round 3, you will have taken a safety. I honestly almost don't care who it is. Get me one of them. That way, after years of me begging and pleading and falling in love with safety prospects, there's finally one for this Cowboys team. And we got a whole bunch more needs to get to. Before we do, get your votes in here. What is the Cowboys' biggest need? Is it the quarterback spot, which, of course, once you pay Dak, you're fine there, or draft someone, you're fine there? Is it somewhere on defense? Let me know what you guys think. This will be the pinned comment on today's video, so if you get the ad break, scroll on down and get your votes in. All right, need number 4, defensive tackle. I feel like I'm in Groundhog Day, but once again, the Cowboys need interior D-line help because Antwaun Woods, your best run-stopping nose guard, is a restricted free agent. You have Tyrone Crawford as a free agent and probably won't be back. That leaves you Neville Gallimore, Tristan Hill, maybe Justin Hamilton, but he's not very good. So if you bring back Woods, you've got 3 guys that you can utilize in a rotation, and you don't really have a legit impact guy. Unfortunately, the draft class, especially if you want a pass rushing guy, isn't great. Maybe they try and get creative in free agency there once again. But again, defensive tackle, finding someone, and maybe you hope that Hill or Gallimore explodes and breaks out next year. You got to get more help in there. You don't have enough impact players, and that has really shown this year with the run defense because Fatty only was a complete disaster. Number 5, edge rusher. And look, I love DeMarcus Lawrence. That is one spot. Cross it off. You are good. But you rotate guys. All NFL teams do. So you want to have at least a good number 2, number 3, and you probably want to try and get by at number 4. I think you're fine at number 4 with some combination of, I hope, Bradley and I over Dorrance Armstrong. I like Gregory as your 3, but Aldon Smith's a free agent. You bring back Aldon Smith, you're probably fine, especially in terms of expensive or early draft pick additions at the spot. But if you lose Aldon Smith, I don't want to enter next season with Randy Gregory, DeMarcus Lawrence, Bradley and I, and Dorrance Carter. You probably need one more guy. If you pay Aldon, I think you're in pretty good shape. Maybe you try and draft a developmental guy later. But if you don't pay Aldon Smith, edge is a kind of a big need for this Cowboys team. So what would you guys do? Type P for pay or type in L for just let Aldon Smith leave. Get your votes in. It's P for pay or L for leave. Santa Tom here, giving you guys a little deal present this holiday season. BetUS, of course, the number 1 sportsbook out there. If you head over to chatsports.com/bet, which will take you right into the BetUS site, and you sign up and deposit at least $100 using promo code Cowboys125, well, I'm going to get you guys hooked up with a Dak Prescott jersey. This deal only lasts for a limited time, so if you haven't already taken advantage of it, if you're a new BetUS customer, do it right now. Once you guys have signed up and deposited, or if you guys just have questions, email us, cowboys@chatsports.com. That is cowboys@chatsports.com. And as a reminder, go to chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code you see on your screen. It's right there. It's Cowboys125. It's the deposit bonus and makes you eligible to get the Dak Prescott jersey. Let's go to number 6 now, linebacker. And part of this is, okay, what exactly is your plan? Because you got some significant free agents to either bring back or not retain. And also, what are you going to do with Jaylon Smith and Leighton Van Der Esch? They're under contract next year. They are. But Jaylon might not be back. LVE has not played that well since his injury. Sean Lee, I think the road is over for him, but bring him back as a defensive coach in some capacity. Justin March and Joe Thomas, okay, they're fine. Kind of want to see Luke Gifford, Francis Bernard play. We'll see if that actually ends up happening. I think step number 1 as it relates to linebacker, make a call on Jaylon. Do you keep him or not? Because you can move on from Jaylon Smith if you want. Now, you're not going to save a ton. If you outright cut him, you only save about $400K. Not a lot of money. You can make him a post-June 1st cut, designate him as one, and that saves $7.2 million, although you kick the can on $6.8 million in dead money in 2022. So it all ends up being the same. It's just you get the money sooner, which is how most teams like to operate. But trading him, you don't save much. I don't know if anyone really wants him there. So you have to make a decision on Jaylon. Do you cut him? Do you keep him? What path do you end up pursuing there? If you keep him, it's probably not a round 1 pick, but day 2, I'm looking at linebacker if you take care of business at other spots, of course, above it. All right, number 7, offensive tackle. Now, some of you guys say this is way higher. You're wrong. You have Lael Collins. You have Tyron Smith. You have to operate under the assumption that they're going to be back and they're going to be healthy. That's plan A. So now you're working on plan B. And maybe that's Brandon Knight. Maybe it's Terrence Steele. Hell, maybe it's Connor Williams if you want to get creative on that one. I'm down to consider that one too. Because you have a plan A, it falls behind to 7 on my needs list because your plan A at corner, safety, defensive line is trash right now. Tyron's neck is absolutely a concern. Let's have a better backup plan. Terrence Steele's played better. Brandon Knight was fine. He was passable before he got hurt. If you trust Tyron Smith, you're not looking for a starting left tackle. I can't justify throwing a super high draft pick at a backup left tackle who ideally never plays when I got all these needs on defense. So yes, you want to start looking for a better swing tackle and a future left tackle. But that need can't take precedence over a day one starter at linebacker or defensive line or multiple spots in the secondary. All right, number 8, offensive guard, kind of fits a similar mold here. Tyler Biadasz, you're set at center there. Zach Martin set at right guard. I would argue you are fine with one of the Connors at left guard. I am totally down for open competition next season between C. Will and C. McGovern at that left guard spot. If you want to bring back Joe Looney as a cheap veteran, probably fine on depth. If you are looking ahead, C. Will's got 1 year left on his contract, and I think he's been pretty solid, but the guys like that tend to get overpaid. And if you're going to move to swing tackle, you got to need a left guard too. So I would say at that perspective, you can look, but maybe it's look but don't touch unless you find some great value. I think you're fine overall on the interior of your offensive line. If you guys haven't already, hit that big red button and subscribe today. We're going to keep you covered on everything this offseason. News, rumors, draft, free agency, everything you guys could possibly want. Hit that big red button and subscribe today. Number 9, wide receiver. Kind of a tier break from between number 8 and 9, by the way. This is a future need, probably. You have Amari Cooper, Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb. Noah Brown is a free agent. He might be cheap. I'd bring him back. Cedric Wilson, RFA. I'd bring him back. The only reason why you would look to spend a pick early is to eventually replace Michael Gallup, which again, you got all these needs on defense and even the offensive line over receiver, so explore it, sure. This year, probably not. Number 10 is tight end, and this is purely depth, because you know what? Dalton Schultz has played pretty solidly. You don't need a number 1 Kyle Pitts type tight end, because you got Schultz, and oh, by the way, Blake Jarwin should be fully healed from his torn ACL. I put tight end on here because you guys always want to go get somebody great. You're fine here. But also, Blake Bell's a free agent. Maybe Sean McEwen takes that number 3 tight end role. Maybe you spend another late round pick or an undrafted free agent at the position. But I don't think tight end should be a priority need for you because, again, your defense and offensive line definitely take precedent on that one. Now, we went 10 deep, but I got a bonus one. Special teams. First off, your long snapper, LP, is a free agent. LP the GOAT is a free agent. As long as he wants to play, you just bring him back. It is that simple. You can cut Greg Zuerlein if you want. You'll save about $2 million, but I think they're just going to bring him back. And finally, punter. I was right. You don't need a punter anymore. You figured it out. Okay? Hunter Nicewander, guess what? He's an exclusive rights free agent. You know what that means? He's as cheap as humanly possible. Bring him back. Because you know what? If he's bad, I can just cut him. And I can go find somebody else random off the streets. You cut Chris Jones, you save like $2 million too. It's a need because you need to cut Chris Jones. This is an easy decision for the Cowboys, one I have preached for years now. You found yourself a cheap punter who's going to cost you next to nothing and is better than your expensive veteran option. I mean, punter this year is as easy as it will ever be in the NFL.